nobody stopping me. That's how I go when you pay for them shows and you study that pimp biology.
Today, March 26, 2019, and it's another Dead on Dave Live. That's right. The place that you go for the opinions you never knew you wanted, and the fat guy that gives them to you that you never knew you needed. What's going on? It's good to have you here for another fantastic day. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Today's been kind of crazy. Today has been one of those weird news days where everything is just insane. Everything is just kind of all over the place. There's a lot of breaking news. There's a lot of stories that have open-ended consequences. There are stories that immediately have been reopened but closed. That makes it very suspicious. There's a lot of things to talk about today, and we're going to have Tobes on as well. He's going to be talking about all the things that he wants to talk about as well, maybe responding to some of the things that I get into. That'll be a little bit later. I'm going to try not to ramble too long. It is going to be mainly Tobes' and yours show, but I do want to get into a couple of things, and I think the first thing that we got to talk about, even with Article 13 and Article 11, even with all that stuff, even with Conor McGregor retiring, once again, all of that stuff, the biggest news that's come out is the Juicy Smollett news that came out this morning that Chicago has dropped all charges against Mr. Juicy Smollett there. In one of the most confusing and confounding things that I've seen in a very long time. Now, Jussie has gone out and he's been maintaining his innocence and all of that, but there is some weird surroundings in this case. Look, there is a very good chance Chicago screwed this up. There's a possibility. There's a possibility that there is an explanation that does not lead to the nefarious. A very good possibility. The first obvious possibility that I think that we absolutely have to entertain is Jussie was telling the truth the entire time, and there has been critical evidence that has been found, uncovered, or released that has proven it 100% without a shadow of a doubt. Now, if that was the case, why would the court documents be sealed? Why would he be forfeiting his bail? If he was accused of these things on the scale that he was, and he was, why wouldn't he be grandstanding the way that he was before? He's the gay Tupac, remember? I mean, like, this dude grandstands. It's what he does. So why wouldn't he grandstand? I don't understand. I'm very confused at this. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because he should be using this. See, I told you some white motherfuckers did this to me. They beat me up. And then all you white motherfuckers out there, and even some of my old brothers, my own fucking brothers and sisters in color, turned on me and all this stuff. He should be having a field day. But he's not. It's weird. It's weird. And see, Melodati just asked a question that I was wondering. Does this mean that the chief of Chicago police, the guy at the front of that video, I want to say he's been in the police department for over 20 years, black man as well, and he absolutely lambasted Jussie. I mean, Chicago had all the evidence. They had their ducks in a row. They didn't make accusations. They didn't say allegedly. They said, this is what this brother did, and we have more than enough proof on it. Now, another possibility of what could have possibly have happened is those two Nigerian, the Chicago brothers, the people, one not even from Nigeria. They're actually Americans. But apparently they don't like to be referred to as Nigerians. I don't know. It's very weird. It's a weird thing. I have no idea. It's very strange. But so these two have also been linked to Jussie in a drug-related situation. Now, if the city of Chicago, for some reason, sees that these two guys have a link to serious drug activity within the city, and Jussie is a way to make bigger busts in the drug world, now that's something that makes sense to me. That's something that makes sense. That's something that could easily come into play. But again, something would have leaked about it. There's just something about the entire story that doesn't make sense. I'm very fucking confused about it. Look, I'm not the smartest guy in the fucking world by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm just saying, man, this shit is absolutely fucking crazy the way that it's gone. And the way that it's continued to unfold. Everything that he has done up to this point, it runs counter to how he would react after news like this getting out. Now, some people think, now I was one of them who thought he might get off. I thought it was a very good chance that he might get off and Chicago was not going to go ahead and make an example out of him. But I changed my mind on it a little bit when we saw that craziness, 16 felony accounts, man. 16 charges they brought against this man. 16, that's a lot. That's an awful lot. So for them to bring 16 and then drop all 16 without even a peep, even without an inkling, this story does not feel over. And here's how not over it is. I checked on The View and The Talk and all those other bitch shows that I can't stand with the most insufferable women in the world in them. And none of them would spike the football. None of them. Not one. And they are the most left-leaning liberal bitches in the world. And not one of them spiked the football. Not one of them. They didn't even get on the media. They didn't get on the Chicago police. Everybody's confused by this. So that's why I didn't put Jesse in the title. That's why I didn't put him in the description box. I simply don't have a lot of things to say on it because I don't know a lot on the situation. It is by far one of the most confusing fucking things I've ever seen in my life. I don't know. Jack says if he gets the snitch jacket, he's got to do time. It depends on how deep it goes. I mean, you got to remember he has other circumstances with him being a celebrity as well. There's so much here. I just don't know. It is bizarre. It's strange, and it really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Possibly I'm stupid. If you guys have any theories as to what you think went on with this, we love to speculate. Can't say anything definitive because nobody's saying anything definitive. So love to hear from you guys a little bit later on. We will take calls, questions, comments, concerns, hopes, dreams, quips, quotes, likes, loves, and so much more. But I want to move on a little bit because there's a few other things. I want to kind of just gloss over the Conor McGregor story. It's kind of a non-story. It was just kind of a good situation to be able to put a recognizable figure in my thumbnail and put a name in the title and make fun of him a little bit. Once again, Conor McGregor has retired from the UFC. This time he did it even stranger. He went ahead and he did it over Twitter. A quick little announcement he just made. Hey, quick announcement. I'm retiring at a young age, get the pina coladas ready and all this. Nobody knows if it's a joke or not. That's one thing. Nobody knows if he's just memeing. There's a good possibility. But he has a track record, okay? And now, just a week ago, he was on Jimmy Fallon, I believe. He was on Tonight's Show. And he started talking about very excited to be fighting again, but he doesn't need to be fighting because of his Irish whiskey and all that, his brand and all the things that he's doing. It's pretty cool, and he's being very successful right now, so he really doesn't need to fight by his own words, by his own admission. But he said he was eager to fight, he was ready to fight, and he wanted to fight. Now, if you remember back to when Conor went and fought Floyd Mayweather, after that happened and he made the $100K or the $100 million off that shit, he ended up holding out from UFC for a while until he got the Nick Diaz 2 fight, the rematch. And in fact, at one point, he did retire. So this is something that he does, but he usually does it in a power play. And apparently that might be exactly what's happening once again. But this time it's because he wants that rematch with Khabib. Apparently that's the case. I don't know why he'd want to fight Khabib again this soon. I think he should definitely take a fight in between so he can get his stuff together, make sure he doesn't get himself fucked up again. But hey, I'm not his trainer. I can only say so much. It's a weird situation, and it gets even weirder because usually Dana White, who, by the way, is the biggest fucking liar in the history of fight promoters. He's a bigger liar than Don King. He's a bigger liar than anybody. Golden Boy, all of them. He is the biggest liar that there is. That's all he does. When he breathes, the air comes out fucking sideways. He can't help it. It's just kind of how it is with him. But he was so taken aback. He said, yeah, this is 100% true. This is 100% true. This is all, apparently he's retired. Good luck to him and all this. But there's a lot of people who are saying behind the scenes because not a lot of people are buying it. And they're talking about how Dana's pissed. He's furious. And more than likely he is. And because he's such a liar, the reaction that we got is probably a false one. And he is incredibly pissed off. And that's fine. He has every right to be. But you know what? He created this monster in Conor McGregor. So I have no sympathy. Dana White has lied. He has tap danced. He has done everything he could to keep Conor, fighting and making him money. He's let him do things that just like, it's unbelievable what the UFC has become because of the things that Dana White will do for his friends, his buddies, or the people who simply make the most money, which in itself I don't have a big problem with. But when you do it all the time and you make these exceptions for guys like CM Punk, when you're going to bring Brock Lesnar back where he hasn't won an official fight since like 2011, you know what I mean? And he's going to get an immediate title rematch or a title fight against Daniel Cormier. I just like, this is all insane to me, and it all comes from Dana White. You can't have a psychopath at the head of this company dealing with other fucking psychopaths and sociopaths. You just can't. You know, everybody, it's just crazy. These are people who willingly get hit in the head constantly, most of them for 10, 15 years. They ain't thinking straight no more. Look at Chael Sonnen. For a guy who thinks that he's the greatest talker in the world, he's half a fucking frittata. Have you listened to anything that Chael Sonnen has said as of late? Yeah, his words and his speech patterns sound fine, but the shit he says, I feel he just makes up words. I feel he just makes up fucking words sometimes. It's unfucking believable. I mean, like, I don't even get it anymore. It's really crazy. So, Conor's retired. I don't think he's retired for long. I do think we'll see him back in UFC ring, either against another Diaz brother, either Nate once again, Nick, whoever he fought a couple of times, I don't fucking know, or Habib. The reality is Conor will continue to do whatever the hell he wants to do. And that's it. Whatever he wants, he's going to do. He wants to go to WWE. He's going to do what Brock is doing because he saw that works. He's going to play the two companies against each other. And it's smart. It's smart all the way around. All this UFC, WWE crossover, I think we're going to see more of it. It's getting really crazy. So I think more than likely, yes, Conor is not retired, but we'll see how it goes. Good to see the chat live and well. I see Reanimator hanging out, Biggie, Pimpin', Pete, what's up, buddy? Everyone lies, fake-ass twat, Mellow Dottie. Hello, Mellow Dottie. High as a kite. Jussie can't be loose. He's the victim, or he gets dick in jail. We'll see. Super Rising Storm, what's up, Flo? Eric the Champ. The state attorney said that dropping the charge was basically a plea agreement. Guilty as fuck. Yeah, I understand this. I know it's what the state attorney said, but it seems very, very weird. What deal could he have possibly have made to get all 16 charges dropped like this? And here's the thing where I don't buy that there was a plea deal, because he's talked about being innocent after. The first thing he said was, I told you I would never do any of these things. Any plea deal, he would not be able to spike the football and make the Chicago Police Department look like assholes. That's what he's doing right now. I don't know. Just like I said, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It makes no sense. I see Leaping Lizard, BG Master Valio. How you doing? We are doomed. You know it. O'Connell's up in the house. All kinds of wonderful people. Eric the Champ. It's good to have some people up in here hanging out with me today. Hopefully you guys are having a fun time. You check me out over on Twitch. You're going to be on the Discord with us in a few minutes, and you're going to be over on Twitch after this as we continue to keep it going, maybe with some Jackbox or something. And if you want to choose the game and make me play something, well, you could do that too. There's ways to do it. Somebody will tell you how, I'm sure. It's called Game Flip Rules, and it's fucking badass. But that's then. This is now. And let's get back to what we're talking about. I want to bring Tobes in really, really soon. In fact, I'm going to go into my copious zone of thoughts, and we'll wait for Mr. Tobes to show up there. But I do have a couple more things I want to talk about before we get there. Article 11 and Article 13. This got talked about a little bit in the chat earlier. Up until the Jussie Smollett situation, this was the big news. This is the one where everybody was reacting to. In fact, Tommy C had a goodbye stream earlier, and he might have jumped the gun on the goodbye stream, although I do understand why he did it. The potential of what happened today, and by the way, the fight is still not over. There is still more voting to happen on Article 13 and Article 11. It's going to pass. Don't get me wrong. It's formalities. The way it's passed so far, the way that it passed by over 100 votes in the last vote, now it's going to the council. It's already being expected to pass very, very easily. YouTube feels it's going to pass. That's why they released what they released today. I saw a tweet from them where they stated that the new arrangement that is now being drafted and adopted for the Article 13 stuff for this law, they said it's a step in the right direction, but they're still tentative. They're worried because they don't know how it's going to be implemented. That tells me there's a little bit more going on here than we understand. I think it's really easy to go doom and gloom and it's all over, man, but it hasn't been implemented yet. The reality is, apparently, from what I did a little bit of research earlier, apparently it can't even be fully implemented until 2021. There's going to be a lot of play here by the whatever network, system, platform. That's the word I'm looking for. They're going to be able to do things to help protect themselves as well. And if you don't know what Article 11 and Article 13 is, it is a bill under the guise, I do believe there are ulterior motives behind it, of course, but under the guise of copyright protection. Essentially, getting through all the bullshit and getting through all the little terminology and everything that most of us aren't going to understand, here's what it basically says. The uploaders, the actual sites, the pages, the formats, the YouTubes, the Googles, all of those, they are now responsible for what their users post to their sites in those countries that have these type of laws. So they're going to have to come up with ways, filters, algorithms, whatever the case may be, to try and cut down that. YouTube has also talked about the very good high probability of having to full-on delete channels and delete content in the EU. There's a lot to it. It's really fucking crazy, and there's so many different sides to it. Now, we can get conspiracy-minded. We can talk about all the reasons, and with a lot of the political ideology that's going on in the EU right now, I don't think a lot of it is all that far-fetched. I lived in Germany. I still am back and forth in Germany. It is getting worse by the fucking day. Almost any German that you will ever meet that has lived there for more than a couple of weeks will fucking tell you things in the country are not getting better. At least maybe they are out in the villas and the hills and the wonderful Bavarian countryside where nobody fucks with anybody, essentially. But in the cities and in the congestion, it's a little bit fucking different, and shit is getting worse. It is not getting fucking fun whatsoever. It is the restrictions feel like they're getting worse. There are people who are getting free passes while a lot of the German citizens are struggling. I know Melanie's one of them. She's always getting constantly pissed off over that fact. It's just, there's many sides to it. And I don't think it's a great leap to think that this does have to do with censorship and taking away people's voices. I don't think it's all that crazy, but let's work with what we got. If this is a pure play for copyright and all that type of stuff, there are some benefits of that happening because it's going to happen worldwide anyway. Now, for people who are hoping that Trump and some other people are going to like come to the rescue of this and condemn it, I think you're going to be wrong, because I'm pretty sure I've read some stuff with Trump who's very supportive of a lot of copyright things. He works with I think Trump has owned some record labels and shit, all kinds of stuff in the past, so he knows that world as well, and he understands how important the copyright stuff is to people making their money long-term, royalties and all of that. So he's going to protect that stuff. He might want something very similar in the States, or even the entire world at some point. And I do see some sort of system that's going to have to be implemented by something to protect from copyright stuff. Because here's the thing, most people don't even know what the fuck fair use actually is. Most content creators, they always, for some reason, almost everybody that I hear talk about fucking fair use, they always leave out one word. They leave out one word, the alteration. Alteration is the word they always leave out. So I mean, it's not enough sometimes, depending on the situation, to just have somebody's clip and then blah, 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 and then boom, start it again. Sometimes that's not enough. You need to actually alter the video, and sometimes just having jumps and edits, like small ones where it's not taking out all that much, isn't enough. It has to be altering. It has to, you have to do something with it. It has to be your own work on top of somebody else's. And I think commentary is going to be one of those things where it's going to be an interesting fight, because a lot of licenses that get gotten by the mainstream media when they cover a lot of things where, you know, you have your pressers and you have some things that you pay for, you have some things that come out that for everybody to use, marketing tools, all types of stuff. It's just going to be interesting how it's going to be implemented on such a big worldwide scale, because I think it's going, and I think this EU thing is probably the beginning of that. It's a test phase, and it's probably going to fail miserably, because there's going to be a big backlash to this. If the worst happens and YouTube starts going down and Facebook starts going down in the EU, all of these fucking sites are being taken off because of memes and pictures and sponsorships. There's going to be hats that I won't be able to wear when I go back to the EU. That's crazy to me. You know, it's pretty insane that I'm going to have to worry about things like that. But here's what I'm going to say also to content creators who are, you know, the doom and gloom. In the EU, you could still go ahead and do your thing. you could still do this. Like I have like the one thing that I'd have to remove from this screen so I'd be 100% safe without worrying at all is the Copious Cartman over there. That's Copious Dave. That is actually original artwork by Captain Kirsch. She made that. That is, it is altered. It's probably good under fair use, more than likely, but that's Copious Dead on Dave. That's me. It's me as Cartman. That's the only thing that I would remove. But guess what? Other than that, I'm still going to do the exact same show when I go back to the EU. Probably won't be able to do some of the video gaming, but I'm expecting video game streaming to be amended under some rules and regulations because so much of video gaming does fall under fair use. So there is actually something good that could come out of this. A lot of people complain about Nintendo and everything that Nintendo has done in the past, although they have gotten better, you know, taking down people's streams. This forces that conversation now for clear definition within the video game realm of what fair use is. When we buy a game and we play it, should it be our property and we could do what we want with it, including streaming? Is it still the game developer's property? This is finally gonna have to be fucking confronted. They're gonna have to talk. They're gonna have to figure this out, and all the big game developers are gonna have to come to the table because they're not gonna want to have their games. And this is where the big fight comes in, because streaming has never been fully abolished or even taken down in total by even the most aggressive of companies, because they know one big truth. The bigger the Twitch gets, the bigger that stream gets, the bigger that streaming gets, the bigger a person gets that plays your content in specific, they are walking, talking billboards for you. They are showcasing your game for free, and the only thing they want to do is be able to make money off of it by donations from all you crazy motherfuckers. They want to be able to do hat changes and beer chugs and all kinds of crazy shit too. They want to do those things as well. And they're not asking that the video game companies pay for it. No, in fact, they're willing to be these walking, talking billboards for these companies so they can continue to do more sales. It's a wonderful symbiotic relationship. It works, and it's going to continue to work. So that conversation is going to have to happen, and it will, and it will. And it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from there. So there could be some beneficial things that do end up coming from it. So what I would say to close the book on 13 and 11 for the time being, until we see how it's enacted, is keep a few things in mind. Apparently, anything that is going to be fully enacted, which isn't even 100% until the council does vote, and I believe that happens in like a week or two, or maybe even as early as April 1st. I'm not sure. But a lot of this stuff is not even going to be enacted until 2021. Doesn't make it better, but it does give people time to get their affairs in order. If they want to leave the EU so they can take on streaming somewhere else, they're going to have the time to do that. So Google said it'll pull out of Europe, and they might, but that's a huge, huge move. And it might be something easy to bluster and bluff about to get people to the table to talk, but I'll believe it when I see it, because Europe's a big marketplace. It is. It is. All right. So that's about all the ranting I want to do on those topics. I got one more thing to talk about, and I'm not somebody who takes shots at people very often. I don't get myself into dramas. I don't do a lot of call-out stuff, but I gotta fucking be honest with you guys. There is one person on the platform who is irritating me more right now than almost anybody fucking else in the entire time that I've been on YouTube. And luckily, I haven't liked them for a very fucking long time either, so this makes it a lot fucking easier. The Prince of Pretentiousness. Yes, that pompous fucking gas bag, Boogie 2988. I wanted to give him a pass after the stupid shit he put out the first time. In fact, I defended him when he put out the whole fucking situation with Lock 'em Up. The Lock 'em Up meme where he had to backpedal. He got taken to school by Count Dankula and apparently multiple fucking others. And he retracted completely. And people were still piling on, including, some of my friends still piling on. I didn't like it. I wasn't really a fan of it because I feel even a flip-flopping, pandering fuck like Boogie should still get the benefit of, if you come out publicly and say, I have been shown the error of my ways, I have been shown why I was wrong. I think in most cases that should be the fucking end of it. It should be the finished, no more, no need to fucking continue to go back on it. But the motherfucker went ahead and doubled down in a way that I really wasn't expecting. So let's take a look. So this is still in the whole realm of Boogie and, you know, the blocking fiasco, the how he's going to deal with people being mean to him in the future, what he thinks about people who talk shit, what he thinks about people who call each other's names. This is what came out. So he says, rumor has it, and this is what he said he was going to do after he got, you know, schooled about the whole lock him up things. He goes, fine, don't lock him up, but I'm just going to block anybody who calls me a name. Rumor has it, does Boogie block people for calling him a certain name? Not exactly. I set up a block bot to look for all kinds of assholes calling someone a name right in the middle of your own tweet, condemning name calling. God, I love how fucking stupid you are. All kinds of assholes who can't be trusted with my tweets and keep them from seeing it. Some people don't deserve my tweets. If you think so little of me to call me names, then I have zero interest in having you in my life. You guys wanted me to start distancing myself from bad people? Well, this is how I'm doing it. People who call each other names on the internet are the awful, starting with you. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Are you kidding me right now? Does he really condemn name calling, but in the exact same tweet calls people's names? Now, I know without a shadow of a doubt in my mind that if I go really looking, I'm going to find all kinds of shit of him calling people. I know it in my heart. We're going to see so much of it. I fucking feel it. But luckily, we didn't even have to wait all that long, because while this might be up for some contention, he broke it in the same day in a weird way, because boom, look at this. Well, who knew if they took my fat, stupid face out of thumbnails, it would do better. Oh yeah, everyone rolling on the floor laughing. Okay, now some of you are going to dismiss this and be like, okay, Dave, he's making fun of himself. It's self-deprecating humor. What's the big deal? I'm going to tell you why you're stupid right now. Okay, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong and why you're stupid. Here's why. You see, if you want to work a principle that is all based off of respect, everybody being nice to each other, not calling each other's names and all of that, and if you want to block people, that's perfectly fine too. If you want to block and close off bad words on your Twitter feed, that is completely 100% your prerogative, and you have every right to do so. But when you grandstand and you start calling people, you know, basically deplorables, you know, I mean, like, it's unbelievable the type of language that you're going to use. When you're a language guy, when words matter and you're trying to transcend all this furry world and all this type of shit that you're doing, things that are easily memeable, and yet anybody who's calling you any type of name, you're not only saying that they're not worthy of your tweets, but they should be locked up and all of these things, but yet you can't respect yourself. How does that work, Boogie? How does that work that you can show that everybody out there can fucking look at you as a fat fuck because you're calling yourself a fat fuck? It's okay for you to be. Well, how about the other people out there who have serious depression problems that constantly go about the whole self-deprecation train just to fucking keep going in the first place? You're actually helping that continue to be a fucking thing, right? Aren't you a bad person for doing that, Boogie? Don't you have bad intentions for saying such horrible things about yourself? But not only about yourself, but how about the people who might only be memeing? Some of those people that are memeing out there and making fun of you because this is such a fucking ridiculous situation. Maybe they're upstanding human beings. Maybe they're Christians and Catholics and Buddhists and Muslims, and they're doing wonderful things for whatever community outreach program that they're in, and what they do. They're changing people's lives, certainly more than a fucking fat guy behind a goddamn camera ever fucking could. Right, Boogie? Right? But because they've chosen to call you names, you're able to call them names as assholes. You're a hypocrite, you're a panderer, and you constantly fucking flip-flop. And honestly, I'm getting sick and fucking tired of it. It's getting annoying. You have far too much sway, far too much goddamn reach to be spouting the fucking massive amounts of stupidity that you do on a daily fucking basis. Not only that, how about respect for the fucking fan base that got you here? You created an entire troll fucking genre with Francis. Now you want to because now you're some fucking furry gay overlord that is part of the LGBTQXYZ community, and you feel you're an endangered fucking species now. That all that shit goes away, and you can now turn your fucking sword on the people that supported you in your meming fucking ways that, oh, shocker, happen to be memers as well. Grow the fuck up, take the jokes, move the fuck on with your rich, happy fucking existence, and stop fucking making everybody who says a bad word out to be Hitler. You're ridiculous, and you're going to lose all your fucking sway because of it. Do not start disrespect your fan base with this trivial bullshit, Boogie. That's how people lose what they have, when they stop respecting it. And you're not young. You're old. I don't know if you're going through a fucking old man fucking middle life crisis. I have no idea. But you need to figure this shit out at some point, because right now you're making us all look fucking stupid. So knock it the fuck off. Jesus Christ. Okay, sorry, I didn't even look a word into the chat. Hey, hi, it's a cat with $1. Ooh, it's the Dave I like. Well, yeah, we haven't had any Dave rage in a while. Jesus Christ, man. You know, I sit back and I try not to get into too much fucking shit. I don't like to fucking get into too many big, overarching stories. I talk about dumb shit for the most part because I'm in hell most of the time. I'm in misery. I don't want to be in more misery. And far be it from me to be judging anybody fucking else, Boogie included. But when you're taking your entire fan base and shitting in their mouths unless they do exactly what you tell them to and use the language that you tell them to use, when you could simply just mute and block and not say a word about it. That's how people keep their careers, motherfucker. But instead you chose this route. And you continue to do it. You continue to say, stop. Take a fucking vacation. Do something. Do something. But you, Francis, I don't think you can stand. The messenger matters on so many fucking occasions. The messenger matters. Lock him up. Lock him up. You're not worthy. Lock him up. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Jack goes, nah, fuck that. They deserve to get called out. Doug D, Dave, that was an epic rant. Go for it, Dave. Paul Camper, thank you, guys. I appreciate that. That's exactly what dipshits like Evan Baked Alaska have done, completely turn on their fans who have got them there. I'm telling you, that's the thing that pisses me off more than anything else, when people start disrespecting the people who got them there. This is a dream to me. The fact that I got 50 people in here, okay, 43. I'm rounding up a little bit. Fucking shoot me. I get to talk to you guys, and I get to do this every day on different fucking platforms. It's a goddamn dream. It's entertainment, and you guys make it happen, even on a small scale. I couldn't even imagine what my life would be like if I blew up and became one of these fucking big E celebrities with thousands, hundreds of thousands of fans that fucking dote over you and want to know your thoughts. There's so much happening with that, and you're shitting on it. I hate when people disrespect what they have and disrespect who brought him to the dance, especially people who have created part of the problem that he's now having a problem with. I don't know. Mr. Izaldi, Dave, I like your hat. Thank you very much. Yeah. Nice wounded warrior. Yeah, I got hurt in Iraq. I was medically retired in 2010, but I got a whole bunch of other hats here, including some other Army hats that I like to change every time that we get a $3 donation or more. I like to do a hat change. We also have a lot of other things down below that you guys can check out and see what's happening with the channel. We also do stuff on Twitch. Check out everything that's going on in the community. Lots of great things and more are coming, especially with WrestleMania right around the corner. So it's been a good time to be a mush puff. All right, I am waiting on Tobes to show up as well. He should be coming on at some point. He said he had some stuff to talk about. And until he does, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Opening up the Discord now. Waiting to call is open. I want to hear from you. You want to talk about Boogie? You want to talk about fucking Article 13, Article 11? You want to talk about Juicy Smollett? You want to talk about anything else? Feel free to get your asses, those sweet, beautiful heinies, up into the Discord. Look down below. You can find a link for the Discord, and one of my wonderful mods will also go ahead and put that link right in the comment section for you. George can't stand you. Was Tobes banned from Shop the Point for his radical leftist views? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's exactly what happened. Leaping Lizard, just add Boogie to the thumbnail. He counts as 6 people, enough to get you an even 50. There you go. Fair enough. Mr. Isolde, will Article 13 kill animation memes? Well, it depends on how it's enacted. That's the thing that we're waiting on, and we may not know for a couple of years. Potentially, this could be the end of like everything. Potentially, there's enough there to give governments in the EU the opportunity to just take down whatever they want and not really give a lot of explanation for why they're doing it. This is one of the most widely opposed new laws that I think that we've seen in the EU in a long time. Because it's fucking with people. Like, you can get taxes pushed through. You can get things that take away people's rights in other ways, like airport and different types of security. When you fuck with people's internet, man, it's a little bit different. You know, you start changing things in a whole nother capacity there, boys and girls. Somebody's coming in and dropping in. Is that my big gay rab? I think it is. What's going on, Mr. Tobes?
Hey, Dave.
How are you? You sound like you just woke up from a nap.
No, I'm on my phone because your time zones are a fucking bitch.
Yeah, I know. We don't do the well, we already changed over. We're waiting for all you guys over there to change over.
Well, we don't even do it. We don't even fucking do it. It shouldn't be any
different. This has been like 2-3 weeks now. We changed over like 2 weeks ago, bud.
Fuck me, really?
Yeah, you big fucking tardo. What's the matter?
No, see, that's the thing. That's why last time I chose like 5 p.m. Eastern Standard because I thought it was the exact same time.
No. And when the time changes in Europe, we're gonna go ahead and change it again. More than likely, I'm either gonna be going at 2 or 4 every day. So I'm just going with it the best I can. God. I know, it's craziness. Hold on one second. Nick Diorio in chat says, I don't like talking it down. We know it could be nothing, but it needs to be talked about like the worst case scenario so people lose their mind and protest. There is some truth to that, Nick, and I'm not going to disagree with the fact that getting people up in arms about it is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. But I don't know how much in this situation, because of how sweepingly it's passing, if it's going to amount to much. This might be one of those things where it almost needs to fail on its own, or let the backlash happen naturally, because they've spaced it out in a way. And I think it's also important that you get the times and all of those things right all the time. The fact that nothing may be enacted at the earliest of 2021, that's an important factor. It is allowing people to get their affairs in order. I'm not saying it's right by any stretch of the imagination. I'm saying that there is more there, and we don't know exactly how it's going to be implemented. Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platforms seem to be loosening up a little bit. Their stances, especially YouTube's, seems to have shifted now that it has actually passed. It's interesting, and I don't know exactly where it's going to go from this point, but I will say this. I'm really glad I'm not in the EU anymore. I mean, after everything I just said, the reality is I'm really happy not to be there because fuck that shit.
Can I add something?
Yes. Oh, it's 3:36 p.m. here, Mr. Isolde. Yeah. What do you got, Tobes?
Jesus. All right. So regarding like Article 13, I think the rhetoric that the people criticizing it or should be using is very important. Yeah. If you considering everything, and I've looked into it, I've had to write college essays and articles about this for work. This doesn't seem like it's a power grab or it's centralizing power for the EU. Honestly, it's just garden variety corruption.
You think it's just corruption? You think this is just them being bought off by the TV boosters?
Yeah. Honestly, if you see the look at the music labels that are benefiting the most from this, and look how much they spent in Europe during the drafting of Article 13 and Article 11. People don't realize this, but a lot of mainstream news outlets in Europe were petitioning for Article 11.
Yes.
This is just corruption. This is
actually
basically
goes back even farther. It goes back a little bit farther too.
Yeah.
And this is why I think that there may still be the corruption angle with this, but I also think that there may not be, and I'll tell you why. This is not the first attempt for this type of thing to happen. In fact, it happened in a different way, and this is something that Tommy and I have covered for a couple of years now, and absolutely nothing ended up coming over it. They tried to enact, they didn't try, in fact, they did. They enacted a law that was on the books for like 60 fucking years that had to do with pirate radio. And it was anybody who was able to muster an average of 500 viewers over a set period of time. I believe it's a year. I'd have to look into that, but I'm pretty sure it's over a year span, averaging 500 viewers, that they would be subjected to having a television license. $5 from Nick DiOrio.
At least in the Middle East you can post memes. Minus the throwing gays off of buildings and stuff. They are so much more progressive than the EU.
Well, listen to the stream and you'll hear what Nick just, he used talk to text, and he says that he likes the memes of gay people getting thrown off of roofs.
Jesus Christ.
I wonder if that was in reference to you.
You
I
know
don't
what? Oh, is it really?
Oh, come on, man. You get your, you need to get your pussy called.
You know what? Long live the EU.
Hold on, my mom's calling. Hold on. Fuck, man. Hold on. Hey, I'm live. I can't do this with you right now. I'm live. I've been trying to call you all day. I'll call you back a little bit later. Okay, I'm live right now.
All right.
Okay.
So.
All right. I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
There's not one racial slur out of her mouth. Amazing. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
apparently I misquoted Nick DiOrio. I may have misquoted Nick DiOrio. I wasn't really paying attention.
See, I'm on my phone. I can't even check what's going on YouTube right now.
Nick was like, whoa. That's not what I said at all. Oh, I did. I butchered the fuck out of it. Hold on. Let's go see exactly what was said. Just for shits and giggles. Hold on.
Yeah, but as you get it up, I must say it's the rhetoric that it's like a power grab, like a lot of the things the EU do. I am not a fan of the EU. A lot of people know that.
Yeah.
As far left as I go, the EU is still fucking just the shittest neoliberal organization ever.
Yeah.
It needs radical reform, and it starts with the grassroots. And if you want to use Article 13 as a basis, you have to use it as something that something that demonstrates its corruption and incompetence. It's not a power grab.
I don't think it's mutually exclusive. I think it absolutely. Look, whether it was intended to be a power grab or not, there's no question. The way that it's written, it could certainly be used and abused in that manner. That's why so many. So the intention, because here's the thing, Tobes, and I think this is something that you get caught up in way too fucking much. The intent in these type of legislations, especially when it's governments that we're not a part of, we don't know of, we're guessing on everything. When we make those type of assertions, we're just completely guessing. We're throwing against the wall completely because we're going off of a feeling, which sometimes is okay, but I think in this case, maybe not, especially when it's set up so easily to be abused and be used as a power grab. So I don't know if it even matters, but potato. Nick, what Nick said was...
I'm not saying...
What Nick said was, by the way, at least in the Middle East, you can post memes. Minus the throwing gays off buildings and stuff, they're so much more progressive than the EU. Oh, okay. So it was close, Nick. It was like in... It wasn't even anywhere fucking close. Like, I barely got the words in the right order. Like, holy shit. Like, oh my God. I can't even believe... Wow. Sorry, Nick. Nick does not condone the usage of gays getting thrown off of building memes. It is not what Nick DiOrio is about. And you know what? I can't believe that piece of shit DeadOnDave would dare say something so derogatory about the wonderful, stunning, shining example of human manliness that is Nick Eats DiOrio. Eat shit, fuckface. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. What do you got aside from all this stuff? Head on dyslexic. Yeah, at best.
Like one more piece I'd like to rebut from your point. It's not that it can't be abused. It can and it will.
Yes, most assuredly.
If it's implemented. The thing is, when you because it's still enacted, when you use that sort of rhetoric, when everything the EU's been saying is about like money, it's about capital,
right?
You know. it kind of gives them a victim card. It gives them an out, and you can't give them an out.
You're not wrong there. You're actually not wrong there. Now that is, but doesn't that only apply if misinformation can be proven? I mean, if it's an opinion based off of what they're feeling and what their intent of it is, but it's not provable, can they use that victim card? You know what I mean? I'm not sure that they're going to get away with that because, again, it is still just a feeling of what their overall intent was because the other things are so easily in play and accessible. Like the abuse is so easily there. Any fucking logical person is not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. No, it's not about stifling my freedoms. They just want more of my money. No, they're going to go to the stiflings of freedoms. You know, it's just like that's well, maybe not in Europe. Maybe not in Europe. I forgot we were talking about Europe. America already has the fucking pitchforks out, but it's we were talking about Europe. Maybe not. Maybe not.
But it's important even for the people in America to contact their Congress people and to see if they can do anything about this with trade deals and negotiations.
Well, Trump ain't gonna. Trump's not gonna go hard line on this. He's not gonna go hard line on this. He's all for copyright stuff. He's had record labels. He's all about it. In fact, I want to say about 3-4 months ago, he was doing something with a whole bunch of fucking artists, record labels talking about the future of copyright law with the internet specifically in mind. He's probably watching this as a way to see if something like this can work. So, I mean, I wouldn't be looking for Trump to be speaking out against this.
Sanders 2020. Consumer over corporation.
Fuck! Oh my God! You know what? If Sanders starts talking out about this and starts, talking about those EU people without calling them comrades, maybe I'll give him a shot.
Honestly, really?
No, fuck him. Fuck him. He's Doc Brown. Fuck him. He's Doc Brown. Fuck him. No. Get in your DeLorean.
No. He was in the 90s. He was criticizing the EU.
Yeah. But EU's so different now. EU's so different now. Come on, man. That was pre-fucking Euro. That was pre-Euro, dude.
No.
They didn't even have the Euro until 2000. No. Different Euro. Different Euro.
If he can stand there, no. If he can stand there and call out neoliberalism by name on stage, he can do it for Europe as well.
Well, let's see if he does. When he does, then maybe I won't be so hard on the big evil fucking scientist. Fuck him until that day. Fuck him. Luckily, he's 100 and he ain't gonna live long enough to even fucking lose the presidency, which he's not going to win.
Fuck you. Long live the burn, death to his enemies.
Oh, what? Yes, that sounds more like the tones we all fucking know. You know what? Biggie's right. Your ass needs to be portal the fucking way. Rick and Morty, you're at your face, bitch. Fucking portal gun. All right. So aside from all the politics, hoopla, rhetoric, and bullshit, what else do we have today? Because I'm sorry, I did have a lot of rant about today. It was great.
Yeah. Did you talk about Jussie Smollett?
Yes, I did. We actually opened with this because this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. This is
right. What the fuck?
I've never seen anything like this before, man. And unfortunately, it's not even a win for people who want to be like, see, he really did. No, it doesn't look like that. The case it looks like it's gonna be sealed up tighter than a virgin's asshole at a fucking gay man bachelor party. Does that work? Yeah, that works. It holds water, unlike that guy's ass after that party. That was a good line. Okay. So it looks like there was a deal made. People are saying that he paid people off. I don't know about that. All I know is I've never seen anything like this situation with the Chicago Police Department condemning, not allegedly, you're not using the word once allegedly or allegation or anything when they condemned Jussie Smollett, weeks back. They said this motherfucker did this shit. And they fucking pointed out how he did it and why he did it and all this stuff. And had a black man, chief of police, condemn him for it. Why would they do that? Enact 16 charges just to drop him 2 weeks later. This is bizarre. Bizarre.
Yeah, class privilege.
Right? You think it might be? You think, or is it gender privilege? Is it sexuality privilege? Is it Hollywood privilege?
I don't think it is really. No. Honestly, I think it's a complete mess.
Yeah,
it's a complete mess. It's one of these anomalies that you can't really just explain.
Right.
It's weird.
Bizarre.
It's just like, why? Yeah. I mean, there's a mountain of evidence.
Yeah,
right?
You're right. Like, it's like ridiculous amount. The only thing I could think
witnesses
of,
and fucking...
The only thing I could think of that might explain something is maybe this is a part of a bigger case, like those two brothers that he, allegedly, now I guess we have to say allegedly, I have no idea, hired to do this. They were apparently his drug dealers. Or at least one of them was. Is it possible that they may have been tied up in a bigger drug connection and Jussie had information on that and he used that to leverage to get himself out of trouble? In a city like Chicago, it's very possible. Especially if it's a big drug thing. Who knows? I hope more stuff gets put out about this because this is perplexing. I can't think of another case like this one. Crazy.
Yeah, it's weird as fuck. It's like It's one of the things, the more you think about it, the more you just get dumbfounded by like the lack of detail, the fucking circumstances. It's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, like,
I was expecting to have to eat a lot of shit.
So fucking fucked.
I don't know. But I was expecting to have to eat a lot of shit, right? Because I mean, I spoke out pretty heavily against this guy. And if it comes out that he 100% that he did not do anything, that he really did get beaten up in that way and all these horrific things, I'll be the first one to fucking say I was wrong and hope nothing but the best. But man, it certainly doesn't fucking look that way. This is so weird. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, is it like the U.S. justice system that I'm not understanding at this point?
I don't even know.
Or is it just like the...
Go ahead.
No, that's it.
Yeah, I honestly don't know because this didn't go to a federal level, so it may have been different in every other state depending on where it was. It certainly is a high profile case. I just don't even know. I mean, I wonder if one of those charges had something to do with hate crime, because I mean, like, couldn't you make the argument that what he did was technically a hate crime? One of those additions by subtraction type fucking things, a negative connotation about an entire group of people or groups of people in his case based off his lies. I mean, I don't know, man, this whole fucking thing, it's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. It really is.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
It's yeah.
Now, I know that you had some stuff that you wanted to talk about. Before we get to it, I want to ask you something because I read about this. I heard a little bit about it, but I have not heard you say anything about this, which was crazy to me. What's going on with your girl, Wendy Williams? I'm hearing she may be having some issues.
What? This was new, actually.
Yeah.
Basically, Wendy started a charity in 2017 where they take drug addicts and alcoholics into sober houses.
Right.
And it turns out the reason she started doing it is because when she wanted to do it, there was nothing there. And and once she started this charity, she went into these sober houses, and she still is there to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that wasn't even the story I was talking about.
Oh.
That wasn't even the story. No, apparently there's a story going out about who's she married to?
A guy called Kevin. I don't know.
Apparently he's been fucking around on her or something like that, and she's like in the middle of some tumultuous spiral, like mentally or some shit. I know. I read about this. I don't know. It was weird.
I have not heard about this.
Let me try to Google
still on the air.
Wendy Williams' husband. Let me see if I can find the article real quick, because this shit was funny. Not Andy Williams. Yeah, his name's Kevin Hunter. Wendy Williams. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Wendy Williams' husband's alleged mistress gives birth. Fans are rallying around Wendy Williams after her husband allegedly had a baby with a mistress. Yeah, this is a real fucking thing.
It's from America Online.
No, it's from everywhere. BuzzFeed, AOL, Page 6. It's every goddamn fucking Bravo, Heightline. I mean, if Wendy had her own publication, I'm sure it'd be printing it too. It's probably real. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, I love it. He had no idea. Toes is out of the loop, man. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's
Jesus
so fucking
Christ.
funny.
I
Poor
thought
Tobes.
because she was a crackhead.
No, I didn't even know about that. That's awesome. That's incredible. Had no fucking clue. That's really amazing.
No, basically for that one, she just came out on her show and said, "I've been struggling with addiction, and for a year now, it's only my husband and my son who know about this. But
shit.
I've been going to a sober house like right after the show,
Wow.
and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel for her, man.
I do too.
Jesus.
I do too. Well, this might explain why she might have been hitting the sauce a little bit harder too. Holy fuck. This actually kind of makes a little bit of sense. Why would she be at home right now? This actually makes a little bit more sense. I don't know. Yeah. All right, let's run through the things that you have. Hopefully nothing all too long because we have already been on for an hour, and I don't know if we're going to have any calls today. So what do we got?
Oh, okay. Let's talk about Roseanne Barr.
Yeah. No. What I was about to say was I was just about to say, wow, it's been a while since we've heard that name. Yeah, please. What's going on with Roro?
Okay. So Roseanne Barr did an interview. It's her first interview since her show cancellation,
right?
Aside from Joe Rogan. This was on the Washington Post, and she basically went to town. She is messed up beyond belief. Oh, yeah. Honestly, she's crazy. Yeah. She's crazy. So what happened? So after she published that tweet, there's a bit of a backlash within the first 10 minutes. Now, the one of the executive producers who also plays her daughter on the show,
Sarah Gilbert.
Yes, Sarah Gilbert. She said she published a tweet condemning what Roseanne said, and then within a few hours, the show was canceled.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's the story. So now Roseanne is solely blaming what's her name?
Sarah Gilbert.
Sarah Gilbert.
Good.
For the cancellation.
Or is it
of
Melissa?
The show.
It might be Melissa Gilbert. Is it Melissa?
No. Sarah. Sarah Gilbert.
Okay. Good. Fuck Sarah Gilbert. I hate her. I don't like her, man. You know what I was so worried about today after I saw the Jussie Smollett stuff was I turned on The View and all those other stupid catty fucking cackling whore fucking talk shows. And I was just like, man, I'm going to have to listen to these bitches spike the football. You know how tentative and how crazy this whole Jussie Smollett thing is? Really? Not one of them did. Not one of them. Like, they were all like, they didn't know what to do. I don't know if he's guilty. I don't know if he's... This is the first time in their lives they've ever been fair. It was incredible. Because they had to be. They're being such fucking fence sitters because they can't possibly condemn anyone here because they just don't know.
They're pulling a Boogie.
Fool me once. So good. It's so good.
It's a spiral. It's a maze, and it's fucking glorious to behold. I think I watched a snippet of The View today, and I think someone mentioned Jussie Smollett.
Yeah.
And Joy Behar kind of tried her best to avoid the fucking questioning. And it was the... I love you, Joy. That was fucking funny. That was
ridiculous. But so Roseanne is she's putting all the blame on Sarah Gilbert. That's pretty funny.
Yes.
They've always had kind of a little bit of a bad relationship anyway, I've heard.
Yeah. So basically, what Roseanne was, the reboot, was, or the remake, or the whatever the fuck it is. It was supposed to be like a redemption story for Roseanne, right? Because it was, she was in awful shape up until that show came up. And Sarah basically said, let me make the show for you to give you your redemption arc.
Right. Yeah.
But is it ABC or CBS?
I think it was ABC, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, it's ABC. So ABC said, one fuck up and you're gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this.
So
this
how
was
is she blaming Sarah? Like, I hate Sarah Gilbert, but how is she blaming Sarah?
Why do you hate Sarah Gilbert?
I just don't like her. She has cunt face. I can't like. Like, there's resting bitch face, and then there is just reasonably cunt face, and she has reasonably cunt face, and I can't deal with it.
Isn't she gay?
Very gay, yes. And she it's not my problem with her. She's the type of person that just has to fucking shove it in your face. Everything. Not just about being gay, but anything. She's eating a sandwich. I'm eating a sandwich. Like, shut the fuck up. It's probably tofu, you cunt. Can't stand her.
The only thing that I remember her from was ER. And that was because my sisters would put it on when they were teenagers. But that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was many moons ago.
many moons ago, yes. Yeah. I don't know. I just never liked her. And I was always a fan of Roseanne as a comedian. But there's no question that this is Roseanne's fault. I mean, look.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's shifting the blame to everyone. Sarah even tweeted, like, I know Roseanne doesn't like me, but she knows, and I've texted her when the show went off the air. It wasn't my decision. Yeah. I love her. Even if she doesn't love me.
Yeah, I got to believe Sarah in this case. I got to believe her. Because nothing else makes sense. Nothing else fits. Roseanne fucked up. Look, her tweet is not a fireable offense. I'm sorry. But it is when you hear that she had a zero tolerance policy, essentially. Any type of fuck up that she was going to be gone.
And she has a history of doing the same to other black women. Yeah. Like she's right. I think she called Condoleezza Rice.
Yeah, but she also but Tobes, to be fair though, she makes those jokes about anybody's facial features. I mean, I've seen her talk about people looking like pigs and cows and geese and all kinds of stuff. I don't think because she also does it to black people that automatically makes her racist.
I didn't know that.
Have you ever seen her comedy? I mean, she's an insult comic. No. Yeah,
I've seen season 1 of Roseanne.
Oh,
that's about it.
She's an insult comic. Yeah.
No, it's just like I don't like that type of comedy, but like
neither do
I, to each their own. But at the same time, you're on a zero tolerance policy from ABC. You have a track record of saying these things and people getting outraged about them. Okay, so maybe you should put the onus of the show's cancellation on your fucking self, you dumb bitch.
Yeah,
you dumb bitch.
I agree with that almost 100%. But there's no question the backlash was way fucking crazy, way over the top. I've never seen anybody get canned that quick before. I mean, like 5 minutes after the tweet, it was over. But now we know why.
Not only that, it was just like you realize most of the hatred. Like there was a lot of hatred. I remember the day. Like there was a lot of hate brewing for Roseanne for that comment, right? But what fueled it was her Ambien excuse.
Oh yeah, that pissed a lot of people off. Also, great meme. Yeah. Fantastic meme as well. It really was.
Yeah. Still is, honestly.
It is pretty good. All right, what else we got?
So we have Us is opening weekend numbers. I know you're not the biggest fan of Jordan Peele.
I'm not, aside from the fact that he might be one of the best mood and pace setters in all of Hollywood today. Like that, he knows how to set a fucking tone, doesn't he? Everything else, I think he's pretty weak on, but he can set a fucking tone. He's stealing concepts from other horror fucking classics now.
I didn't like Get Out, to be completely fair.
Which is a stolen concept from The Wicker Man. If you're going to steal a concept, why steal The Wicker Man's concept in some ways? You know?
Yeah, but he made it infinitely better, let's be honest.
Yeah, because this is what he does. He takes a concept that has worked in the past and then takes a racially overcharged and, most importantly, ambiguous tone and then places it into the setting. And this is what he did it in both movies.
But no, this didn't happen in Us.
Oh, he said it himself, dude. You might want to go check his interviews before you say that.
Yeah. No. That's what I'm saying is, like Get Out. I've said this in a tweet. Get Out is a horror-oriented satire.
Yeah.
About race relations in America.
Yeah.
Right. But Us is just a horror movie with some elements of that. One of my biggest criticisms in my review, which I'm sure you didn't watch.
Of course I did. It was fantastic.
Sure.
It's great. 9 out of 10. I review your review, 9 out of 10 stars.
Okay. But what he basically did with this movie is very this movie is very thematically weak. Like it doesn't keep you thinking. It's just us,
Shut up and
like
take my
me,
money.
you, and the central characters happen to be a black family.
I see. Well, I don't know if anything happened to be. I mean, look, that's kind of the point of what I'm saying.
Of course not. Of course not. This is Hollywood. They want the diversity.
This is where it's where the ambiguity comes in, and this is where I think his intention is. He wants all of his stuff to be racially ambiguous, so these conversations can start. I kind of feel it's a little bit of a cop out, and I think it's going to catch up to him down the road. I do. I just think it will eventually, especially if he keeps stealing concepts. I mean, come on. I like some of the idea behind us. The twist, I don't think it was all that crazy to see that twist come in, if you know what I'm talking about.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Hey! Okay, finally.
Yeah, well, I had my ways, let me say that. I didn't go to a theater for it, is all I'm going to say. Because I wanted to
camcorder Dave.
No, yeah, basically. But I mean, I read it. I went basically. What I'll do is when I can't see a movie, especially horror, when I want to see, I'll find the scripts and I'll read the scripts, and then I'll like find any type of footage that I can. So I kind of did all this for this movie because I was very interested in what they were going to go. And then when I saw what happened, I was just a little bit disappointed. Then I started reading and getting down the rabbit hole. I don't know, man.
I loved it. I fucking loved it. I thought it was brilliant. Like I see where people are coming from with some of their criticisms of it, but at the same time, I think those were intentional because you can see the seeds of these the seeds of what's going to go in the future, kind of at the beginning of the movie within this, like watching it a second time,
right? Yeah,
that kind of makes it just like it kind of flows like genuinely really well. The pacing, as you said, is incredible, and like the story is captivating because the characters are fucking amazing. Lupita Nyong'o,
it's all about that tone that he sets. Like all they have to do is be there, because he paints these visceral worlds. Every scene is intentionally done to evoke an emotion. That's where I'm going to give him all the credit in the world for, because he knows how to what lighting to evoke what type of emotion and what scene. That's a big skill to me, and he does it very well.
In my review, I mentioned this. There's this scene towards the end. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's shot in like the most eerie way you could shoot that.
Yeah,
and it is just it is just breathtaking.
Yeah,
you sit on the edge of your seat at the theater. I watched this movie with my dad and his friend. The first time I watched it, they really wanted to tag along. I didn't even tell them it was a horror movie until they sat down. Until they sat down in the cinema. Yeah. So they jumped a few times, right? But So the main thing is like something I realized. Like my dad is just like kind of cool. Even when we sit down and watch a horror movie with
that is
with
the
my
first
mom on the
complimentary
couch,
thing I've ever heard you say about your father. I've known you for 2 years, like over 2 years. That's the first complimentary, even pseudo complimentary thing I've ever heard you say about your father. Incredible.
My father is kind, but he's dead set on his ways.
Yeah. Considering the region, I get it.
Yeah.
Get it. Not a pass, because I'd still like to kick him in the dick over it, but I understand.
Yeah.
Paul Kimber says, "Tobes, you are evil, but I like you." That was nice. Nice, Paul.
Thank you.
Nice, Paul. There you go.
But the tone he was setting, my father and his friend were on the edge of their seat, cool. The entire movie,
and it did really well.
So it's 70 million.
Yeah,
70 million. It's right up there with Halloween. It's in the same ballpark, but Halloween made a bit more.
Yep.
The reboot from a few months ago. It did really well. And I wanted to ask you this.
Yes.
Do you think, like, the horror genre, because this is a debate on Twitter, do you think the horror genre needed saving?
No, I don't. I don't think it does, and I don't think this saves it. I don't think taking concepts in both of his movies that he's done, taking major concepts from old horror movies and putting ambiguous racial overtones and undertones over it changes anything. I don't think that, even if it did need saving, horror, this is my favorite genre. It's what I have been in love with my entire life more than anything else, because horror is the one unique genre that can be anything else while always maintaining its horror core. There's not another genre that's able to take on other categories and other genres but still remain the same semblance of what it was. That's why horror is unique. Horror, through its beginning, from stories around a campfire till now, watching shit in 3D with jump scares and all that, it continues to evolve and change at the times. There's different willingness. Oh, $10 from Verse. Hold on.
I didn't fuck Tobus. I didn't come on Tobus. I didn't put my dick anywhere near Tobus. I've never done anything weird with Tobus. I promised myself I wasn't going to make apology videos after last year's thing, so I'm just trying to be as short and honest.
Oh my fucking God. Okay. So you couldn't hear that. But what it said is, this was Verse that he donated $10. I'm going to give him an Ewok love on that one. Thank you so much. He goes, it says, I didn't fuck Tobes. I didn't come on Tobes. I didn't put my dick anywhere near Tobes. I have never done anything weird with Tobes. I promised myself I wasn't going to make an apology video after last year's thing, so I'm just trying to be as short and honest. Oh, that's a fantastic Verse Dawson tweet there. Fantastic. But the best part of it, Tobes, was the voice to text was saying Tobus. Tobus. I didn't fuck Tobus. I didn't come on Tobus. It was so fucking great. It was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Verst. I appreciate you, man. You're a sexy man, and I would let you penetrate me with whatever finger you want. All right.
Ew.
So what else do we have there? Are we moving on to another subjecto?
Okay, let's move on to another subject. How about that?
I'm just asking. You got more? We can keep talking about. You know what? I did want to say one more thing on Us, real quick.
Yeah.
Because it should be really important to denote how well it actually did. You know, and to finish answering the question, by the way, horror continues to evolve. It's what it does. It continues to evolve depending on the times and the circumstances that are around it. That's what makes it a wonderful. Sometimes it reboots, sometimes it resets, but it always continues, and we're going to have things that'll come back. It's like trends, like anything else. There are certain demographics, certain generations that are more susceptible to jump scares. There are more that are susceptible to slashers. And we'll have
the
those.
scene phase has ended.
You're right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of where it is. But it's even more important when you think about this. It did very well in the United States as well against a red hot fucking Captain Marvel movie that by the end of this weekend will top $1 billion. That's 3 weeks before Endgame. It's incredible what this movie has done. Holy shit. Jim, go ahead, Tubbs. I'm sorry.
No, it's just it is incredible. It's one of the most. I think there's a lot of factors that play into it.
Yeah.
But the fact that those two movies, given, and I don't want to get as political as but no, to have these diverse casts, to have these leads, to have, and to make this much money is very encouraging. Even though there's a lot of factors to it, there's a lot of factors behind it. But yeah, I think like a lot of the lead up, like people wanted a cleanser from Captain Marvel, so they watched Us, and like Jordan Peele has this name recognition that is unprecedented for like a sophomore effort director.
No question. But he's been around the game for a long time. You got to remember too, he has that sketch comedy background, which a lot of directors like to cite as something that it really helps them in knowing how to set up scenes differently, getting a different viewpoint. I've heard a lot of people talk about this over the years, and this is where he comes from. This is his world, so it makes sense. It makes sense to me. One thing here, High as a Kite, he donated earlier and he asked about Jim Jeffries and the situation with Jim Jeffries. For the things that I've looked in about Jim Jeffries, and I know, like, I used to like Jim Jeffries when he was just a comedian, and then he got this show where the entire point of the show, from what I understood it to be, was trolling. Whatever the person's ideology was, he was going to take the opposite side of it. That's how I didn't really watch too much of it, but that's what it appeared to be.
No, it was always left-wing trolling.
Was it always left-wing trolling? I thought he was going both ways.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes he would turn the troll off.
Right.
Like Jordan Peterson, the Jordan Peterson interview.
Okay.
He did. He was kind of like as he should be. He didn't take Jordan Peterson seriously at all, and he didn't even put up a character or a fight against him. It's just like he was just talking to him with like a really condescending way, and which is appropriate for a man of Jordan Peterson.
Oh, we're not getting clean your room and shut up, Tobes. All right, clean your fucking room.
I do.
So
it's clean. It's gorgeous.
Well, good. See, then that means that you are listening to Jordan Peterson. That's good. Don't you feel good about yourself?
I listened to an actual psychiatrist.
Whatever. Potato. You're Jordan Peterson's bitch now. High as a Kite was asking about the Jim Jeffries thing, but I don't know too much about exactly what he's in hot water over at the moment, other than some serious racial shit. But just real short and sweet to it. Is this part of a troll, or did he go rogue? What happened here?
I don't know.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, thank you. Hold on,
basically, what it says on Breitbart, the number one fucking source of news for the lefties, Facebook bans Jewish veteran. Of course, they have to put that in there after expose of Jim Jeffries' deceptive editing. What? Oh, okay. All right. Hidden video shows hypocrisy and okay.
These are going off. There's a lot of different things. The Jerusalem Post is pissed. I'm reading Jim Jeffries' video captures comedians' anti-Semitic, anti-Islamic slurs. Well, so he went to both sides. So he's like, "Who's fighting?" All right, the Jews and the Islams. You know what? Yeah. Fuck them both. Isn't that okay? If you do it to both, isn't that all right? That's acceptable. I don't know.
It depends. Well, again, it's like I hate overanalyzing comedy. It's comedy, whether it's good or bad. It's subjective. So, and I do talk about it in my new video, which should be coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Can't wait to watch it. I'm very excited to watch it.
No, it's about diversity and that the whole shebang.
Oh God, I can't wait to watch something about diversity. Oh.
Yeah. No, but seriously, it's like I want to touch on this thing. Like there's a great video by a YouTuber called ContraPoints about this. But like let comedians be. Right. And I know the comedy, especially in this day and age, carries a lot of how do you say like it basically it transforms culture, right? Like no other period in human history.
Richard Pryor, Pryor and Carlin and so many in the 70s would punch you right in your fucking vagina.
The 21st century.
Punch you right in the vagina. You can't just say 20. It's been 19 years, Tobes. It's not even enough time. That's a pimple fart of time. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, in the early 21st century.
Yeah, we've had none of it. No, I mean, like, we've had a couple of people who have dominated. If anything, the comedy has died in the 21st century. I mean, ever since Dave Chappelle went away, everybody else has been nothing but a flabbity fucking vagina. You know what's really fucked up? The real fucked up thing is when Jerry Seinfeld was the toughest guy in the room, who was the first guy, by the way, who stopped going to the college campuses. There's something wrong with the level of masculinity in comedy. You got Jerry Seinfeld.
He didn't do that. Well, that's a common misconception. And recently, Jerry Seinfeld was asked about this by Ricky Gervais when he was interviewing Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, comedians getting coffee.
Yeah. No. It was on a podcast.
Another one. Okay, all right.
Yeah. I think he does a radio show as well, I think.
Oh, does he do a radio show now?
Yeah. So Jerry Seinfeld is asked by Ricky Gervais, I can't believe that, colleges are so sensitive to comedy that you're not even going. Yeah. And he said, It has nothing to do with them being sensitive. If these people don't like my style of comedy, I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
That's not what he was saying at the beginning of it. Because you go back to Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. He talks about it several times about the inability to say things was enough to turn for him to not continue to go to the college campuses. Because if you can't be a comedian, he's not going to go someplace. So maybe that's changed over time to more of the explanation that he's giving now. And it's actually kind of smart for him to distance himself from it. But I don't know. That's not what he was saying before. Because I put him over like gangbusters for that shit in the past. Because he was the only one who did it. And it's just like, it's crazy when that's what you're looking at in today's realm of comedy. It just kind of drives me nuts. But
Chris Rock, people are saying Chris Rock did the same because college students are too sensitive. When there's an interview quote, they ain't paying me too well.
Right.
That's what he said. Yeah. So it's so comedy is one of those things that I don't like the fact that people are and I'm left wing as fuck. You guys know me. But I don't like people treading lightly on topic. I'd like you to be as smart as possible in your comedy, and even if you make a bad joke, hey, we all do it. That's my entire existence on the internet.
As long as we have this fucking weaponized ability to take people's careers down 10 years after they told a joke, people are they're gonna be more hesitant, and I don't blame them for it to some regards, but it does make for some real bad comedy. I'll tell you that. High as a kite in the chat. This is what he says the whole thing is about. He said it's about when he said he thought the cameras weren't rolling. He said he doesn't like Islam or hijabs, etc. But while he panders to the left. And so it's hypocrisy about that. So I want a little bit more information on it.
No, honestly, like he did a show called Freedom.
Yeah.
Or Free and then Dumb. Yeah. Which was excellent. I really enjoyed that one.
I want to educate myself on this before I get far into it, because I don't know enough about it, and especially because there's certainly a political undertone here. I want to be careful.
I don't know much about it either. I'm just saying, like,
I'm saving you then too.
Expressed it. Yeah. But I'm only saying, like, he's always expressed a disdain for Islam. He just doesn't really. I don't know. I haven't watched the video.
Saying it out of character is a little bit different. I don't know. Like again, I really don't know. Makat says, "Damn, the Ewok hat fits you." I know. It's almost ridiculous how well this hat works on me. I love this hat. I feel like I'm really someone special in here. Yeah, the reality is most of the stuff that I saw in the Jim Jeffries thing simply didn't really speak out to me. I'm not a big fan of his to begin with, and then this story seemed to be a non-story to me because just the nature of what he does and how he does it and the stories that he tells and the lengths that he goes to be able to be this fucking rebel rouser. You know, I didn't see too much in the story, but maybe there is something to look into if that's the case, but I don't know. Heizekai, give me as much information on that as you can, if you would be so kind, please.
Take another run. I like John Mulaney. Everyone should watch John Mulaney, honestly.
Whatever Tobes is telling you to watch, probably you're not going to like, so tread lightly.
You're probably not, but he's just so wholesome and funny, and you know, the white boy kind of blowhard, kind of hot.
God. All right.
You know, but no, I would recommend Kid Gorgeous and Live at Radio City.
Yeah,
those are the two.
I'm not watching any of that. I don't think.
Why? Why must
just to fucking put it in your asshole. That's exactly why.
Yeah, you don't even watch my videos.
Wait. The Game Overture said this comedian John Mulaney is the shit. Oh, I definitely want to watch John Mulaney. Thank you for the recommendation. What? What's going on? All right.
John Mulaney's the shit. Okay.
I'll check him out. All right, Tobes. Anything else before we get out of here? Because I want to go. I'm tired. I got to go to Twitch. I still got to go to Twitch.
Jesus, Dave, take a break.
No. Got to get back on that grind, baby.
Grind don't stop.
Don't stop. Can't stop.
The one topic that I still have real quick is the Avengers runtime.
Oh yeah, okay. No, I have not. Now, how long is it?
3 hours and 2 minutes.
Get the fuck out of here! Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
I'm gonna have to go sit in a movie theater for 3 fucking hours.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 4 because you got to go early. Oh my fucking God. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
That's fucking insane.
3 hours.
I'm excited because that, man, it's going to be such a crazy fucking movie. I'm so excited. I'm just excited.
It looks amazing. It seems like I just, oh my God. Well, this sparked the debate on in film Twitter that I thought was really fucking interesting.
Really?
Yeah. There are so many movies, indie or otherwise. The biggest example I can think of is Blade Runner 2049. That flopped because audiences said they were too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, the same people, literally the same accounts that said, "Oh, I don't watch these highbrow movies or highbrow blockbusters because they're too long," are the same people celebrating the fact that Avengers Endgame is 3 hours and 2 minutes long.
They're not necessarily hypocrites for doing so, though. And here's the reason why. Why people can avoid hypocrisy is typically when a situation is special. And with the MCU, the way that it's been and how long we've built to this particular movie, it's the same concept as Game of Thrones. Almost every episode, actually, we just found out that's not going to be the case. The first 2 episodes are going to be like 48 minutes, and then the episodes after that will be a little bit longer. Then the final episode will be almost 2 hours or something like that. It's fucking crazy. But nobody's going to complain because we're getting more of that thing that we want to wrap up the show properly. It's the same thing with this. This has been a culmination of like 20 fucking movies. So this is the type of time that even for people who never want 2.5, 3 hour movies, they'll take a fucking 6 hour movie if they get it, because this is going to be an event. This is going to be special. It feels special.
I'm buying my $60 ticket right now.
No, I'm not paying that much. But I'm hurting just paying that $20 ticket. But you will get a whole fucking meal out of it and shit. You should do that.
A meal, some fucking silk sheets, fucking a pillow, recliners. Yeah, silk fucking sheets there.
It's pretty good. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
I have that shit in the use.
I'm sure they do, but I don't look into it because I don't have oil money. You know, it's like...
Look, if there's one in Connecticut, I'll pay for your ticket to go.
Oh, shit, bitch. I'm going to be doing some research. That's
genuinely. Yeah, it's something you have to experience.
I'm going to find the fucking most high-profile fucking theater in the whole state. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, and I'll fucking pay for it. You go watch Endgame in the recliner seat to get yourself comfortable.
The one that I'm going to does have recliner seats. That's why it was. I paid $20 for that, and it was fine. Assigned seats, recliner seats, but we don't get meals and sheets and pillows and enemas and all kinds of stuff like you do.
Oh, I wish they gave me an enema. God knows I need one.
Good. You are full of shit. So this is very true. And on that note, kids, toes, if you have anything else, now's your time. Floor is yours to tell everybody where they can find you or any other stories that you want to get out before we get out of here, because there's no one waiting to call, and I want to go to Twitch. So what do you got?
All right. You can find me on Twitter at Film Oddities, and you can find me on YouTube at Film Oddities. I'm doing so much than I used to do with that channel. There's a review of Us, Captain Marvel, and there's a video discussing the Oscars, and hopefully in 2 weeks there'll be another video that's a bit controversial, but I try to be as uncondescending and as non-patronizing as possible, because I really want to make I really want to just get the point across. I know the people in the chat don't agree with me, but I genuinely just want to make the case. Please subscribe.
I feel almost bad for you if you wouldn't have brought most of that your fucking self. But this is too fucking great. He's like, okay, all right, look, guys, I know that you've been duped before, but this time, I love it. That's too good.
No, genuinely, it's representation in media is a very important topic to me.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't toes it up.
Yeah, hopefully. I'll even run the audio by you, just in case. But like, I'm
Oh, you're
trying
only
to make
doing that so you make
the
sure I
point.
watch it or listen to it, you fucking tricky motherfucker.
Fuck it. I'll send it to someone else.
No, I'll do it. No, trust me. No, I don't want to do it because I don't want to be responsible. Dave, you proofread this. He said something fucking SJW. You're a piece of shit. Come put on your Ewok ears.
I don't care. No. Honestly. Call
I'm
me
not
an
being
SJW
responsible
if
for
you
you,
want.
Tobes. Not happening.
Fine. You know what? Fine. Some friend you are. But
No, I'm a terrible friend. Look, man, every man for himself at this point. It's the fucking Thunderdome in this bitch. Welcome to Mad Max and fuck your Thunderdome, motherfucker. You not realize I'm trying to survive out here, motherfucker. I don't go to theater with sheets in it. You out of your mind? Trying to survive in the streets. It's hard in New Britain. It's fucking tough times. I got Puerto Ricans on one side, Polish on the other. I don't know what the fuck to do. I like the food on the fucking Puerto Rican side, but the Polish people are my brethren. What do I do? I'm right in the middle.
Well, that's fine.
It is. It's a good way to be. Because everybody has to pick a side eventually, Topes. Do I pick food or do I pick nationality or not nationality, but fucking ethnicity?
Who gives a shit?
Ethnicity.
Fuck heritage. Go with food. Who gives a shit?
Says the gay
For all
Arab.
people.
Like you can't fucking like. There's no bigger middle finger to one's heritage. No, I can't possibly fucking. No, I can't. I can't listen to you on that one. No, you're very.
Why?
You're clearly biased. You're in a heritage that is against you. So of course you fuck heritage. Of course, no.
Yeah, I might know more about this than you do.
You might, but you also might be tainted. And yes, I said taint to a gay man. All right. On that terrible joke, Tobes, pleasure as always, my friend. It's good to have you here.
No problem. I need to get out of this parking lot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Get out of there. Someone's going to come proposition you glory hole time. There you go. Go home, you weirdo. Phone sounds good, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I just got new headphones for my phone because my microphone is broken, and I also got new network. I'm with a new network, I guess.
Nice. Well, it sounds good, so give him some credit.
All
right, Tobes, I'll talk to you later, buddy.
See ya.
Tobes, everyone. Make sure you check him out. All right, that is going to do it for me, at least here on the YouTubes. We're going to be going over to Twitch in just a few momentos, and hopefully you guys will come and join me. I'm probably going to take a quick break, just a small break, a quasi break, so I can throw a little food down my big fat gullet, and then I'll be back, and we'll see what we start with. Ricochet, if you're going to be around for the Twitch stream, you donated it was Verse that donated $10, excuse me. If Verse wants to pick the game that I start with, he can do so using Game Flip rules. If not, I'm probably going to start with Hearthstone or something, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do when you guys get over there, all right? Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed everything that we talked about. We went over so much today. Jussie Smollett. We went over fucking Biggie. We got into the whole situation. Boogie, not Biggie. Boogie. We got into Boogie. We got into Article 13, Article 11, did a whole bunch of entertainment stuff with Tobes. And it was a pretty damn good show, and I'm glad to be back to doing Dead on Dave Lives each and every single day. And we will be here tomorrow to tantalize your nether regions, all right? We'll see you then. Keep it copious, folks, and remember, as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Now hit me with that outro, Dueling Duelist Drew. Peace!